Here's the truth about confidence that most men never figure out. It's not something you magically wake up with one day. It's not something you can fake your way into. And it surely doesn't come from cheesy affirmation or pretending to be someone that you're not. Real confidence, the kind that doesn't crack under pressure, comes from one thing: competence. When you know you've put in the work, you know that you can handle the challenge, and you know that you've been tested. That's when you move differently. You stop second guessing. You stop chasing validation. You walk into every room with quiet certainty because you've actually earned it. And that's exactly what we help men do in my private coaching program. We build competence in the areas that matter most: your fitness, your mindset, your leadership, your discipline, and your ability to execute. You don't need more hype. You don't need more motivational videos. You need structure, strategy, and guidance. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and actually become the man you keep telling yourself that you could be, hit the first link in the description and join us. Let's break down the 5 reasons why competence is the root of unshakable confidence and how you can start building it today. Point 1. Competence makes you calm in chaos. Let's start with the battlefield. That is everyday life: pressure, deadlines, confrontation, unexpected problems. That's where most guys lose their cool, not because they're weak, but because they're unprepared. They've built a fragile sense of self, one that crumbles when tested. But the man who's confident doesn't flinch. Why? Because he's seen chaos before. He's trained for it. He's been in the fire enough times to stay cool under it. Competence gives you a sense of control that no amount of motivation can touch. You're not guessing, you're executing. And that's the difference between the guy who panics when things go wrong and the guy who steps up and handles it. Whether it's knowing how to defend yourself, fix what's broken, lead in crisis, or push through a challenge, competence gives you tools. It gives you options, and options creates confidence. You're not faking strength, you're operating from it. You don't need to puff your chest or bark orders, you just act and people follow. That's the power of competence. If you keep feeling like life keeps catching you off guard, maybe it's time to stop reacting and start preparing. Chaos reveals who's been doing the work. The question is, are you ready to be that man? Point 2. Competence builds a track record you can trust. Every man has an inner scoreboard. You know it's true. It's that quiet voice that asks, can I handle this? And the answer depends on the track record you've built with yourself. If you've skipped workouts, quit early, backed down from discomfort, or talked more than you've delivered, your confidence suffers. Not because you're a failure, but because your own history tells you not to trust yourself. That's the root of self-doubt, broken promises to yourself. But when you build confidence, when you've been in the gym week after week, handled tough conversations, nailed projects, sharpened your skills, that scoreboard starts to change. You start stacking wins. You stop hoping you'll figure it out and start knowing that you will. You become a man with proof. It's not about ego or arrogance, it's about evidence. Confidence grows when you consistently deliver. You have the receipts, not the excuses. So next time you doubt yourself, don't reach for some empty pep talks. Look at your actions. Have you built a track record that earns your own respect? If not, start there. Start building a resume of execution. And remember this: every time you show up when it's inconvenient, every time you finish what you start, every time you get sharper, you're giving yourself one more reason to believe. Competence is how you earn that belief. Competence silences the need for approval. One of the most overlooked benefits of competence is how it kills your craving for approval. When you don't know what you're doing, you overcompensate. You start seeking attention, validation, applause, anything to feel like you're enough, but it never lasts. The competent man, though, he doesn't need applause. He doesn't care who's watching. He's not performing, he's executing. He trusts his ability, and that internal certainty replaces the need for external approval. Let's be real. Most guys burn out trying to impress people who they don't even like. They post, they boast, they stretch the truth, but deep down, they know that they're bluffing. That's why insecurity lives in the gap between who you pretend to be and who you actually are. But when your competence is real, that gap disappears. You don't need anyone to tell you you're enough. You know you are because you've built the skill, you've earned the result, you've bled for the wins. This is exactly what we help you do in my private coaching program. We don't chase clout. We don't play pretend. We develop real world skill sets that lead to real confidence, real performance. If you're done living on approval and ready to start to live on results, click the first link below and begin to level up. Because the man who's competent doesn't ask for validation. He commands respect. Point 4. Competence is the antidote for overthinking. You ever get stuck in your own head, second guessing every move, analyzing every word, playing out the absolute worst case scenarios? That's a symptom of not trusting your skills. That's what happens when you haven't built competence. Overthinking is a signal that you don't feel equipped to handle the situation. So your brain scrambles, trying to find certainty when there is none. It's exhausting and it kills momentum. But when you're competent, you stop thinking so much and start doing more because you know what to do. You've done it 100 times. There's no need to debate or doubt. You just act. That's how confident men move. It's like muscle memory. The competent man has rehearsed solutions so many times, he doesn't hesitate. He trusts his instincts because those instincts are backed by training. That's what separates winners from warriors. If you're tired of overthinking everything, what to say, how to act, when to make a move, then it's time to sharpen your skills. Confidence isn't a cure for fear. It's a product of preparation. And the more you train, the less you panic. Competence calms your mind and puts you back in control. It's not magic. It's mastery. One rep at a time. Competence makes you dangerous in the best way. Here's what most people don't want to tell you. Competence is intimidating, and it should be. The competent man walks with a calm, quiet edge that commands attention. He doesn't yell. He doesn't bluff. He doesn't need to convince anyone of anything. Why? Because competence is a form of power. A man who's competent with his body can defend himself. A man who's competent with his words can influence others. A man who's competent with his discipline can lead, provide, and build. That kind of man becomes an asset to his team, to his family, and to his mission. And he becomes dangerous, not because he wants to harm, but because he's capable. Capable of protecting, capable of building, capable of standing firm when other men fold. This world doesn't need more loud talkers or internet experts. It needs more capable men, men who don't need to fake toughness because they forged it through sweat, time, and resilience. If you want to be respected, not just liked, but respected, start building competence in the areas that matter. Be the man who knows what he's doing. Be the man who other men want by their side when things get serious. Don't chase confidence. Become the kind of man who's earned it. So here's your takeaway. Real confidence doesn't come from pretending. It comes from proving. And the only way to prove it is by building competence. That's what separates boys from men, talkers from doers, pretenders from performers. Confidence isn't something you fake. It's something that you forge through repetition, through results, through skill. And if you're ready to stop playing small, if you're ready to become a man who earns his confidence and lives like he deserves respect, then my private coaching program is your next step. You'll get the guidance, structure, and accountability to build real strength, real discipline, and real confidence. Click the first link in the description below to join. It's time to stop faking and start becoming.